But protesters managed to get inside, and the county courts was actually raised down to fire. These as protesters went on the streets today as they continue to oppose the Finance Bill 2024. This is a departure on what we saw last week, where the protests were peaceful, but today things took the other turn. Let's look at the pictures from Rift Valley, Uasin Gishu County. What happened today?
Mapambano, yani bado mapambano, wametoka kule maskini.
And from what we have seen today in various parts of the country, the distraction that has followed the protests against the Finance Bill 2024, several groups have come out to condemn the police brutality against the protesters. And among those are the Azimio leaders led by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, DAP-K leader, that is Eugene Wamalwa, who spoke today condemning the police for using excessive force and equally asking the president to respect the constitution and play by the rules. Take a look and a listen.
And ignore the countrywide million-man march against this punitive bill. If it wasn't already evident, everyone should know that the catastrophe, that is a Finance Bill 2024, has resulted in a generational awakening. There's no turning back, since Generation Z will no longer sit back. And indeed, all Kenyans. We respect the courage that the protesters have been displaying in exercising their constitutional right to peaceably assemble, demonstrate, and picket. This is despite the security apparatus's frightening and coercive measures. We also strongly condemn the Gestapo/SS-like hijackings and abductions of the perceived Gen Z protest leaders by the police. Remember the story of the Gestapo during Hitler's time. We demand that all the abductees be immediately released unconditionally. Today marked a tragic day in the Kenyan history. Kenyans took over the parliament buildings, demanding that their leaders heed their voices. Unfortunately, security officials followed them inside and attacked them. We understand that police fatally shot several demonstrators. I'm using the word several cautiously, because there could be many. And the media personnel were not also spared.
And that is the statement by the Azimio coalition led by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka condemning the police brutality and the excesses that were witnessed today. And also now we go to Kitengela Kitengela in Kajiado County that also witnessed skirmishes today. Let's take a look. Images from Kitengela. But even as that continues to be the situation that pretty much was witnessed across the day today, the clergy have equally spoken and given their voices on the scene. And today, the Catholic bishops also spoke to the same, talking about the police brutality. But now let's listen in.
Let us do so peacefully as citizens and as the government. We believe the president has the means and the will to bring back sanity to our nation by not signing the finance bill into law for better participation, taking into account the voices of many Kenyans. Kenyans, our dear young people, our country belongs to all of us. Your lives are important to us. We plead with you to remain peaceful. We invite all Kenyans to pray for our country and for God to guide us and guide our hearts to restore order and peace. This statement has been signed by me, Archbishop Maurice Mwate Makumba, the chairman of the conference and Archbishop of Kisumu. It has been signed as well by Archbishop Anthony Muheria of Nyeri and Apostolic Administrator of Embu, Archbishop Martin Kivuva of Mombasa, Archbishop Philip Anyolo of Nairobi, Right Reverend Joseph Mairura Okemwa of Kisii, Right Reverend Alfred Rotich of Kericho, Right Reverend Norman Kingo Wambua of Machakos, Right Reverend Peter Kiara of Marsabit, Right Reverend David Kamau Nganga, Auxiliary Bishop of Nairobi, Right Reverend Anthony Reri Mukobo, Bishop of Isiolo, Right Reverend Salesius Mugambi, Bishop of Meru, Right Reverend James Maria Wainaina, Bishop of Muranga, Right Reverend Paul Kariuki Njiru, Bishop of Wote, Right Reverend Dominic Mengich, Bishop of Eldoret, Right Reverend John Obala Owa, Bishop of Ngong, Right Reverend Joseph Mbatia, Bishop of Nyaururu, Right Reverend Joseph Obanyisagwe, Bishop of Kakamega, Right Reverend Joseph Mongela, Bishop of Kitui, Right Reverend Michael Odiwa, Bishop of Homa Bay, Right Reverend Willie Badlago, Bishop of Malindi, Right Reverend Mark Kadima, Bishop of Bungoma, Right Reverend George Muthaka, Bishop of Garissa, Right Reverend John Binda, Bishop of Lodwar, Right Reverend Yorinimus Amusugut Joya, Bishop of Maralal, Right Reverend Henry Juma Odonya, Bishop of Kitale, Right Reverend Cleophas Oseso, Bishop of Nakuru, Right Reverend Simon Peter Kamamoe, Auxiliary Bishop of Nairobi, Right Reverend Wallace Nganga, Auxiliary Bishop of Nairobi, Right Reverend John Lelei, Auxiliary Bishop of Eldoret, and Monsignor John Jue, Apostolic Administrator, Military Ordinariate. We take this chance also to invite all our Kenyan Catholics that beginning this evening, we are beginning a novena, the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ, a prayer of 9 days, the whole country to pray for our country. The novena, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Archbishop Chair. We allow kindly 2 questions. We feel 2 questions. Anyone who has a question? Yes, please, kindly.
We have presented our views as invited by the government in the public participation, and we have spoken and documented our views on this particular matter during our public participation, and we are convinced they have reached the president.
Thank you. Another question? Kindly. Let's see whether there is someone else Okay, he seems to be the inspired one.
What do you foresee should the president continue and go ahead and sign the finance bill?
We pray for a peaceful country as we share our message. God save our beloved country. You and me have no other country to go. And that's our message to the whole country, the young people, the aged. We have no other country we can go to. We need to maintain peace. Whatever else comes in the coming days, we need to protect zealously our country, Kenya, by maintaining peace and order. Thank you.
The statement by the clergy, specifically the Catholic bishops who've given their voice on what is happening in the country today. But even that, the Nairobi women rep, that is Esther Passaris, equally gave out a statement on the protests that have been witnessed in the country. Let's listen in.
Has been tidied up. Just a few minutes.
Thank you.
They have come up and said they want more accountability. They are tired of seeing the opulence at which our leaders are behaving. I mean, they basically, we've got leaders who've actually come into parliament and they already own helicopters. All right, we have to actually stop, because we know that if Chapter 6 actually worked, some of these leaders would be behind bars. We can't afford to spend taxpayers' money for personal growth and personal wealth and treat it as our own. So we have two problems. One, we have a debt and we have to honor. I believe that we should find a way to actually negotiate on how we can, pay back that debt over a longer period, because right now, even the interest rate is taking too much of our money. Over 1 trillion goes into interest rate. People want jobs. Women here want bursaries. Some of them want training. Some of them need rehab. Some of them need, they need jobs. So to create an enabling environment means that we have to guard our taxes, because the more taxes